A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another episode of Ramadan Reflections with myself, Kashif Shahzada. There seems to be a recent fad, a new phenomena that has become quite popular with the emergence of the internet. Certain individuals have emerged who call themselves as Quranists, who use this term, who say that we are Quranists, and they say that they are followers of the Quran, that they follow only the Quran as a religious book, and they do not believe or follow in anything else. And they say that we are Quranists. They use this English word. This phenomena is commonplace, and these are people who speak English, who communicate in English, and they use the internet to promote their teachings, and they label themselves as Quranists. In this Ramadan reflection, I'd like to share with my viewers 7 examples or 7 reasons to identify that the Quranists in fact violate the Quran. The individuals who call themselves as Quranists have got nothing to do with the Quran at all. And I'd like to present to you evidence internally from the Quran itself for you to consider that their beliefs have got absolutely nothing to do with the Quran, and their claim is totally null and void. Number 1, in the Quran, there is no such thing as a Quranist. The word Quranist is an English word. There is no Arabic equivalent of this word within the Quran itself. There is no word like Quraniyun within the Quran. So, when somebody says, I follow the Quran and I call myself Quranist, he is not following the Quran, because the Quran does not tell the believers to use this term for themselves. So this is the violation of the Quran that they have made. The term which the Quran says that believers are to use is Muslim. The Quran says in Surah Al-Hajj, chapter number 22, verse number 78, Allah says, هُوَ السَّمَاكُمُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ مِنْ قَبْلُ وَفِي هَذَا. Allah is the one who has named you Muslim. Min qablu wa fi hadha, before and even in this revelation. The name that believers in the Quran will use is what Allah says. Huwa samakumul muslimin. Allah has named you Muslim. So he does not say Quranist. So a person who believes in the Quran will follow the Quran. He will say, I am a Muslim. He will not say, I am a Quranist. So number 1, this is a violation of the Quran itself, that there is no term internally within the Quran by which goes with the meaning of Quranist. There is no Arabic equivalent of such a term. Number 2, these individuals, they go about saying that our religion is Quranism. This is a new term which has been coined, which has been invented. Quranism. There is no such thing as Quranism. Allah says very clearly that the deen is al-Islam. In Surah Al-Imran, chapter number 3, verse number 19. Inna ad-deena indallah al-Islam. Surely the deen in the sight of Allah is al-Islam. It doesn't say Quranism. What is Quranism? Where do you get it from here? There's no Quranism internally within the book. The deen is al-Islam. So a believer in the Quran, what will he say? He will say, my religion is Quranism. Astaghfirullah. He will say, my deen is al-Islam. Number 3, these people claim that we follow the Quran only. That we are Quranists and we follow the Quran only. There is no statement internally within the Quran, within the book of Allah, which says follow Quran only. There is no such statement. Go through the book, please. Allah says to follow many things. For example, in Surah An-Nisa, chapter number 4, verse number 59, Allah commands the believers. He says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, O you who believe, atiyullah wa atiyur rasul wal ulil amri minkum. Obey Allah and His Messenger and those who are in authority among you. فَإِن تَنَعْزَعْتُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ, if you differ with anything, then فَرُدُّوهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَالرَّسُولِ, then return the matter to Allah and His Rasul. Allah says in the Quran, follow Allah and His Rasul and follow those in authority. The Quran itself says, one who follows the Quran, who believes the Quran, will have to be obedient to the authorities which Allah and His Messenger have appointed. They also have to be obedient to them. So the Quran, in fact, refers the believers to people of knowledge, to people who have been vested with knowledge and who give guidance. Number 4, these people, by calling themselves as Quranists, by labeling a new religion Quranism, by coming up with novel interpretations, they have formed a sect. They have distanced themselves from the Ummah of Muslims, from Ummatum Muslimah. Muslims are believers of the Quran. They are a worldwide community and they are an Ummah, a nation. They have diversity of beliefs, yes, but as a whole, they are one Ummah. They perform Hajj, they perform Umrah, they fast during Ramadan, they perform the 5 daily prayers, they give zakat, they observe the rules of modesty, they eat halal food, they abstain from haram. The people who do that, they are Muslims, they are Muslim Ummah. But Quranists do not consider themselves a part of the Ummah. They are a schism, a group which is a sect. They have started a sect of these individuals. They will never say we are Muslims like you. This is another violation of the Quran. The Quran very clearly says in many ayat that one should not form sects and divisions. In Surah Al-An'am, chapter number 6, verse number 159, Allah says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ فَرَّقُوا دِينَهُمْ وَكَانُوا شِيعًا لَسْتَ مِنْهُمْ فِي الشَّيْءِ إِنَّمَا أَمْرُهُمْ إِلَى اللَّهِ ثُمَّ يُنَبِّئُهُم بِمَا كَانُوا يَفْعَلُونَ. Surely, as for those who have divided their deen and they have become sects, you have no concern with them. Their affair is with Allah. He will inform them of the truth of what they used to do. Those who have made sects, the Quran says don't join them. Do not join sects like Quranists or Quraniyun. These are sects. The Quran itself says that. Can a person who believes in the Quran, can he start a new sect calling itself by a label which the Quran doesn't say, which in fact violates the book? Can a believer do that? No, he cannot. So these people are not believing in the Quran. They are violating the teachings of the Quran. They have formed sects, which Allah says you should not do. Reason number 5, the Quran is in fact in Arabic. Very clearly Allah says in Surah Yusuf chapter number 12 verse number 2, Inna anzalnahu Qur'anan Arabiyyan la'allakum taqilun. Verily we have made it an Arabic Quran. Inna anzalnahu Qur'anan Arabiyyan. This is an Arabic Quran that you may use your reason. The Quran is the Arabic. It is not the English. It is not the commentaries. It is not the interpretations that people give in their own wordings. The Quran, the word of Allah, the Kalam Allah, is the Arabic text. These people, they will promote their teachings in their own languages, in their own English translations. They are not promoting the Quran. When you hear their beliefs, then one should be able to distinguish between the translations and interpretations in their own language and the original words of Allah in Arabic. The Quran is the Arabic. One who follows the Quran has to follow the Arabic text. Somebody who is following interpretations in English or commentaries in any other language, he is not following the Quran. To follow the Quran, you have to refer to the Arabic. Number 7, in order to be guided, the Quran itself says that one should join an ummah. Allah says in Surah Al-A'raf, chapter number 7, وَمِمَّنْ خَلَقْنَا أُمَّةً يَهْدُونَ بِالْحَقِّ. And of those that we have created is an ummah, a nation that guides with the truth. The Quran is also a guide. The Quran gives guidance. The Quran is hidayah. But this book, the understanding of this book is with the Muslims, with the Ummah, with the Muslim Ummah. If somebody wishes to find the guidance of Allah, he has to study the Quran and he has also to join the Ummah of the Muslims. He has to join the Muslim community. He cannot just sit back in his home and study English translations and come about with novel interpretations. No. You also have to refer to the Muslim community. You have to refer to the people of knowledge within the Muslim Ummah and seek guidance from them. Allah says so in the Quran. وَمِمَّنْ خَلَقْنَا. And of those that we have created, ummatan yahduna bil haqq, is an ummah that guides with the truth. The ummah itself is a source of guidance. The Quran says the ummah is the one that has preserved the Quran. The ummah is the one which gives da'wah to people, which invites people to Islam. So if you want the guidance of Allah, you have to come to the ummah of the Muslims. You have to come to the Muslim community. These groups are in fact deviants. Their statements are contradictory to the Quran, left, right and center. We have got to be very careful that before accepting anything which is Islamic, which is part of the deen, which is being claimed to be part of the deen, we need to be sure that it's authentic. The teaching is authentic. And the way to do that is to see the Arabic text of the Quran and not just swallow the commentaries and the interpretations of people in English. There's a difference between the English that is being you are being invited to, and whether that English is in fact from this book. So these are the 7 reasons that the Quranists have got nothing to do with the Quran. Individuals who make this claim are in fact violating the Quran, and one should not be deluded by their claims. I hope you would give thought to these small reminders, and you will also make an effort to study the Arabic of the Quran, and you will also get in touch with Islamic scholars within the Muslim Ummah. People of knowledge, people who have understanding of the Quran, they are existing. They are within the Muslim Ummah. You need to refer to them and ask them about what is the meaning of this verse. Thank you for listening. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله